Hello and welcome to this Nature's Sunshine Academy webinar. Today we're going to be talking about gut flora, gut ecology and Bifidophilus flora force, which is our product for helping to maintain a healthy gut flora. So if we start by looking at gut ecology, your gut should really contain about 1.5 kilos of good gut flora, including fungi and bacteria. It gets into the gut because it populates the intestines during the birth process and during the first few months of life. If the birth process is by cesarean instead of naturally, or if breastfeeding isn't possible for any reason, sometimes that can have an effect upon the gut flora later on in life. It plays an essential role in breaking down and absorbing our nutrients, so particularly if we have digestive problems, it's really important to make sure that this gut flora is in the right balance. So here's what healthy gut flora does when it's working well. It lines the gut wall, so it helps to protect it from damage by whatever's passing through the gut at the time. It helps to keep bad bugs away. If you think of it as being a little bit like a garden, if you've got lots of lovely plants in your garden and it's well tended and well looked after, there's less space for the weeds to grow, and it's exactly the same principle here. Gut flora also helps to break down carbohydrates, which obviously fuel the body and give it some energy, and they aid nutrient absorption as well. They also help to create some of our B vitamins, and more recently they've been found to help train the immune system and regulate it. So let's have a look at protecting the gut wall here and what happens if that isn't the case. So the gut bacteria disappear. So for example, if we're taking antibiotics as the prime example, but also in smoking, even tap water will do it to some extent. So the gut bacteria disappears and the gut wall becomes exposed. When that happens, it becomes more porous and we get what we would call a leaky gut, which allows larger proteins like lactose and gluten to pass into the bloodstream. Because they wouldn't naturally be in the bloodstream, the body doesn't recognize them and it starts to set up an immune reaction, which then starts to damage the gut wall a little bit more, and so it goes on. So you get this vicious circle happening, which can lead to a number of different health problems if it's not corrected. Gut flora also helps to feed and nourish the body, and they contain unique enzymes that process carbohydrates. So these enzymes are not found anywhere else in the body. If we don't have them in the gut flora, we simply don't have them at all. They also help us to absorb nutrients, so they're vital for the absorption of other nutrients, both from our food and from the supplements that we take. And they help to produce some of our B vitamins, like we said before. So it's important to remember, if you're taking antibiotics for any reason, to also take B vitamins alongside them so that you don't lose out on your B vitamins whilst you're taking them. Gut flora also helps to support the immune system and get it working properly. So if the gut ecosystem is healthy, there's not much room for the harmful bacteria to grow. We also think that gut flora helps to make substances that will kill viruses and help to train the immune system, which is one reason why this may be helpful when you go on holiday to take something like Bifidophilus flora force, or even just the prebiotics like caprylic acid. Some people with allergic and inflammatory conditions have found that their symptoms are relieved a little bit if they start to take probiotics. Candidiasis is something you may well have heard of. It's a form of fungi that lives in the gut called Candida albicans, and it's there in the gut all the time and in other parts of the body as well. But if the balance is disturbed for any reason, the Candida can overgrow and cause a problem. So triggers for this include, again, taking antibiotics or smoking. Certain oral contraceptives might do it as well, and other forms of medication, and tap water. And if it gets out of hand, it can lead to a variety of different health problems. So things like thrush, fungal nail infections, and athlete's foot are all manifestations of Candida overgrowing in the gut. And this is what it looks like. So on the left-hand side here, we have a healthy gut, and on the right-hand side, we have one that's covered in Candida, and it just basically looks like thrush in the gut. Not very pleasant. So let's look now at the difference between probiotics and antibiotics. Antibiotics are still very commonly used, and most of them will kill virtually all the different types of gut flora. They don't discriminate between the good and the bad bacteria, they'll just kill everything. Again, this can lead to a number of different health problems, like food intolerances and just feeling generally unwell. The word probiotic actually means for life, pro-life, and they replenish the main sources of the good bacteria. So the product that we have for this is called Bifidophilus floriforce, and it combines two of the main strains of the bacteria that we would typically find in the gut. The first one is called lactobacillus acidophilus, which literally means acid-loving milk bacteria, although our variety is not made from milk at all. And it helps to control the candida growth. The second one is called bifidobacterium longum, and they're the ones that help to create your B vitamins and maintain a healthy immune response. As well as the bacteria itself, our Bifidophilus floriforce also contains some prebiotics which will nourish the bacteria and help them to spread evenly throughout the gut. Each of our capsules is enteric coated, so rather than it breaking down in the stomach where it's not going to do any good, it will pass through the stomach intact and then release all the bacteria nicely into the intestine. There's no milk in Bifidophilus floriforce, although we've got that milk-loving bacteria in. It's not actually made from milk, it's cultured from carrots, so it's fine for people with milk intolerances to take. If you want to take other supplements alongside that will complement the floriforce, you could take caprylic acid, which is a stronger prebiotic than we can contain in the supplements themselves, or high potency garlic. Both of these go really well together. The garlic is known to help to kill off harmful bacteria in the gut and to help sustain and nourish the good bacteria. So when would people want to use Bifidophilus floriforce? Obviously following any course of antibiotics, any course of other medication, or particularly after a stay in hospital or a cleanse. If they have confirmed IBS or dairy intolerance, it's really helpful to take probiotics. During a stomach upset as well, studies have shown that if you take something like Bifidophilus, when you have a stomach upset, it's going to last much less in terms of time than it would have done otherwise. Anyone who's prone to urinary tract infections, as these can often be a manifestation of candidiasis. Someone who has regular colonic irrigation, normally their therapist would prescribe or give them probiotics after each treatment, but that's not always the case, so it's worth checking. And if you combine it with caprylic acid, take it for a week before you go on holiday and all throughout your stay until you've returned home, and it will help to protect you from the bacteria and viruses you'd be exposed to whilst you're abroad. Other things you can do in your diet to help maintain healthy bacteria is to avoid antibiotics unless they're really necessary. Sometimes they are really necessary, but by all means take them then. But if you have any other alternative, maybe try those first. And always to take probiotics after a course of antibiotics. To eat a well-balanced, nourishing diet, well, that goes without saying, doesn't it? To drink bottled or filtered tap water at least. And probiotic foods that you can include, which are available in most supermarkets now, things like miso and tempeh, which are fermented foods from Japan. Live yogurt and sauerkraut, also fermented foods, got lots of really good healthy bacteria in them. So that's the end of this webinar. I hope you've really enjoyed it, and obviously if you've got any questions, please do email me. I'm at ukhealthsciences@natr.com. Goodbye.